It's game time. The Kid Gowie. Ravens Nation. All we know is purple and black. And if you're not a Ravens fan, welcome to Baltimore, Maryland, M&T Bank Stadium, where opponents don't make it out alive unless we bury them. Every team be afraid of them, especially all the quarterbacks, cause our defensive linemen won't hesitate to leave you sacked. Let's take a minute, go back to Super Bowl 35. Domination was an understatement up against the Giants. Numerous touchdowns, they put up numbers, and it didn't take a nutritionist to see they hunger. Only stat Kerry Collins could get was interceptions. He must have thought throwing to the D counted as receptions. The pass was legendary, but don't sleep on the present. Our secondary make quarterbacks avoid their direction. You tryna run the ball, you better hope your blockers work. You can juke, you can spin, but your destination's the turf. This is a man's game, being soft will get you hurt. Watch the defense force a fumble and the fans go berserk. 17 weeks, only one league, out of 32 squads, no one's messing with our team. We all bleed black and purple, you can check our IVs. Raven Nation fly high, watch us all spread our wings. Put your game face on, embarrass the competition. You ain't talking about the greatest if the Ravens aren't mentioned. Screw every other team, cause those dudes are whack. In Baltimore, the only thing we know is purple and black. Go! They always win when the championship's on the line, so if you hoping that they failed, then you really wasting your time. Going that's the 49ers, I'm pretty sure they remember when they made a comeback, but weren't declared the winners. 2 rings down, but you know they won't stop now. If the opposing D's caught slipping, you know exactly how that goes. That's another deep connection for 6 points in the end zone. The stadium goes wacko as Ravens put in work. Pittsburgh Steelers, that still curtain is looking more like a skirt. So tell me who they say is gonna beat them Bengals? Who used to be the Browns until they relocated? Ravens, they are one of the greatest. There's simply no denying it. To beat them, bringing your A game's a requirement. With the youth of the team, I bet they still be dominant, even after the greatest linebacker's retirement. 17 weeks, only one league, out of 32 squads, no one's messing with our team. We all bleed black and purple, you can check our IVs. Raven Nation fly high, watch us all spread our wings. Put your game face on, embarrass the competition. You ain't talking about the greatest if the Ravens aren't mentioned. Screw every other team, cause those dudes are whack. In Baltimore, the only thing we know is purple and black. Go!
Welcome to another edition of the SCG Sports and two modes. I apologize. SCG Sports Show on Mondays, 5 p.m. Eastern. Big shout out to my guy Jose Verduzco, aka Nubo. How you doing, man?
Yo, what's going on, flock? It's been a while. It's been a while since I've addressed the flock, but I'm always here, man. I'm always going to be in the background whenever we have somebody like PFF disrespecting our team. You know I'm going to be there. You know I'm going to call them out. So that's what we're here to do today, Sonny, and great to see you, man. It's also been a while since we've talked, so thank you for having me, man.
It's been a minute. I like your background, by the way.
Oh, yeah. I got to let them know. Check it out. Just in case you forgot, don't forget who we got on the team. I do have a green screen behind me, so that's why it kind of looks weird. I don't have a large poster of Lamar Jackson necessarily in the back, but it is a green screen. So
Hey, it looks good. It looks good. I'll say this. Nope. I miss the NF podcast. Those
oh
are
yeah,
some great shows.
yes, that was a lot of fun. But hey, we can't be too mad because now you got your show AFC North Talk, the best show on YouTube. So you can't be too sad about it.
Okay, so let's jump right into it, and I wanted to start with the ranking. Okay, so I'm gonna go 50. I'm gonna go like 10 player chunks. Okay,
All right.
50 to 40 and so on. So 50 was Edge Daniel Hunter from Minnesota. Edge 49 Edge Brandon Graham from Philadelphia.
What is this top 50? Because I'm looking at PFF and they have Dak Prescott at number 50, or is it a different one?
Am I reading the old one? Hold on.
Let me see.
Where's this article? Yeah, no, yeah. But you know what? Give me your top. Can you read it?
Yeah, I can read it off if you want. Yeah, so. All right, so here on PFF's website, they have their top 50. And at number 50, which we already start off with a problem, they have Dak Prescott at number 50. Now, there's nothing wrong with that, having him at number 50, but the fact that you have him and don't have Lamar Jackson in the top 50 and you have Dak Prescott at 50? Anyway, then they have Levante David at 49. They have Marcus Williams from the Saints at 48. They have James Bradbury from the New York Giants at 47. They have our guy, Ronnie Stanley, at 46. Thank you, PFF. Stephon Diggs at 45. Michael Thomas at 44. Terran Armstead from the Saints at 43. Grady Jarrett from the Falcons at 42. John Johnson III from the Cleveland Steamers. And 40, they have Mr. Josh Allen. Well, so I want to, I know this is your show, Sonny, but I wonder who in the chat thinks any of those players are better than Lamar Jackson. Just straight up, be honest with me.
So also, I will say this. I think putting Lamar, so yeah, the list that I had was last year. So do you know where Lamar was last year?
I think he was in the top 10, wasn't he?
It was 8th.
He was 8th. And then they just completely took him out of this list. Come on.
It's like they forgot about it. I'm almost wondering if they forgot about him, right? But anyway, I thought if they put Lamar like in the 50 or like in this last 10, it would have been super disrespectful.
Yeah.
They went like, no, we're not going to even do that. We're just going to say, F it.
Just don't even put him in there. Yeah. Even though he was the number 8 player and he won his first playoff game last year, and also he still threw 26 touchdowns and broke rushing records. But no, let's take him out of the top 50 entirely.
We be the next 10.
All right, so next 10. Well, first of all, again, this is your show, but I don't want to derail it. But what do you think about the quarterbacks? They have Josh Allen, Dak Prescott. So, okay, before we get too ahead of it, for me, I'm fine if you put Mahomes, obviously, in front of Lamar. I have no problem with that. Tom Brady, I wouldn't put him above Lamar, but I get it. I get people want to put him above Lamar. I understand. Aaron Rodgers, I'm okay with that. Russell Wilson, I could go either way with that. But I would not put either Josh Allen or Dak Prescott above Lamar Jackson. That's just me. And that's exactly what they're doing in here. So
yeah, it's funny because I was talking to my wife and I said, like, I could get people telling me Lamar is not a top 5 or top 10 quarterback if you handicap him. Basically, if you say, Lamar, let's not count anything that he does with his legs. Let's just count the fact only what he does with his arm. And then I can see them dropping him to 10-ish, right?
Yeah.
But that's basically handicapping Lamar. If you then take Lamar as the player he is, then you don't have an argument that he's not a top 5 quarterback, right? And then you can debate where he stacks in number 5. Like, you can see some arguments for Brady, for Ryers, for Mahomes. over Lamar, but still top 5. So you're telling me a top 5 QB cannot make the top 50 list? Top 5 QB cannot make, and not only that, if we're completely honest here, Lamar Jackson is again a top 10 quarterback just with his arm, right?
Mm-hmm.
And a top 5 runner, right? A weapon in the open field. Top 5 in the open field when he has the ball in the open field.
Oh, yeah.
And how shifty he is. And you're not, because this is not a top 50 QB, not even a top 50 in offense. Not
No.
even, so this is as an overall player, which is this is the list that you can give Lamar even more props, because if you go out as a pure QB list, you can see some people give him, well, he doesn't throw the ball as accurate, he doesn't do this, he doesn't do that with his arm. I can see some people bring him in down a little bit because of his arm, right? But this is a top player. So this goes everything he does. So he escapes really well out of the pocket. He avoids pressure out of the pocket. He throws the ball well. His TD interception ratio is one of the top in the league.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, when he's in the open field, God mercy whoever tries to tackle him, break his ankles left and right. I don't get it. Like I'm just baffled. Dak Prescott's coming from a major injury. I know one of the reasons, and we can read this quote here. I know you retweeted it. I did so as well from Sam Monson.
Mm-hmm.
Says, in a list projecting forward, it's a debatable,
Right.
and he will have a better 2021 season than the 6 QB who made the list. Well, Sam Monson, prepare for being demonetized. How the fuck do you justify Dak Prescott's coming from a major injury being better than Lamar Jackson?
Mm-hmm.
Just that. How?
Mm-hmm.
Dak Prescott came from a gruesome injury. Shout out to him. I'm hoping he comes healthy. This is nothing against Dak, but he is coming from a major injury with questions in the offensive line as well, which mobility for him might not be great for where he broke his ankle, if I'm not mistaken, or the leg. So, and you're telling me that you're projecting that he's going to be better than Lamar? All Lamar has done is win, carry his team, has this year more weapon than he has had before on the passing side. But y'all telling me that he's going to be better?
So that's my thing, is that this list is supposed to be for next year, right? Oh, these are going to be the top 50 players in the NFL in 2021. Which, I mean, first of all, again, I know it's the offseason. We have nothing really to talk about, so we have to talk about this. But it's a stupid list to make, which is just the problem that I have with PFF entirely, right? Because they come out here, they're a grading system, they want to be taken seriously. We take a look at the NFL, the NCAA, and this is what we do. Our grading system is immaculate, right? That's what they want you to believe. But then they come out with these opinion pieces. They come out with these opinion pieces to simply rile people up. And the problem is they're succeeding. That's the problem.
That's true.
Yeah.
Publicity.
So, yeah, but you make a good point, Sonny, that how are you going to... So here's my thinking for them with Dak Prescott. And I have no problem with Dak Prescott being in the top 50. And I have no problem with any of these players at all. They are all spectacular players, right? I think we can both agree on that.
Yeah.
But the fact that you put them all and didn't even put Lamar anywhere, that is just, it's crazy to me. Especially, so, okay, let's say you look at last year, he didn't have his best year, right? Obviously, he didn't play up to MVP level, right? But the man has a better offense, at least on paper, around him, right? So you shouldn't you give him a chance to maybe improve? Hey, look, they drafted 2 receivers. They signed Sammy Watkins. They improved the offensive line, at least in theory, right? So the math just doesn't equal up. If he had an okay year, shouldn't, in theory, he have a better year with a better surrounding cast? It just doesn't make any sense by their own logic.
Yep. And look, the argument could be made that Lamar hasn't progressed, but he hasn't degressed. No, that's not the right word.
Regressed, yeah.
Regressed. Thank you.
Mhm.
But he hasn't regressed, so he has. Oh, let's say that he peaked and he's staying flat. Well, he's staying flat with better weapons, so he should have a better year. But even Lamar, if he doesn't regress and stay flat, is better than whatever you can have from Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott hasn't put the winning percentage or the numbers between rushing and throwing that Lamar has done. He hasn't. Yeah, and Dak Prescott has had offense. See, the Cowboys' problem has never been defense. I'm sorry, offense. It's been defense, right?
Right.
Dak Prescott, when he came to the league, he had one of the top offensive line in the league. Some people argue the top. Also, receiving wise, he had Des Bryant. When Des Bryant was still a good receiver, Beasley was still young over there, doing his thing. He had, and the guy that was a horrible announcer, tight end, I forgot his name. He had a good offense, and then they drafted CeeDee Lamb. So offense has not been the problem. And
Jason Witten, that's who you're thinking.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
Witten. But so that has not been the problem. I think that, in my opinion, has underperformed a little bit. Their defense has been pretty trash. But all in all, my biggest problem is here that you go back and you're telling me a guy from a major injury that was playing okay. It wasn't like he was just torching the league where he got hurt, right? He was playing okay.
Well, the argument is that he led the league in passing yards, right? That's what people are gonna say. I see people in the chat saying that. Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of garbage time yards for the Cowboys, which is fine. My point is, coming from a major injury, how can you project that he's gonna be better? You can put him as a dark horse, I would be okay with that. But over Lamar Jackson, to be honest, I saw Lamar didn't get in. I was just baffled. So I haven't checked if there's another quarterback that they just.
It was crazy. So, okay, here's my theory. You guys let me know if you agree with this. I think PFF made the list. Everything was good. Everything was done. And they're like, oh, we forgot to put Lamar. And then they're like, wait a second. Maybe this will get more clicks if we do leave Lamar out. So why don't we make a bullshit narrative to say, oh no, Lamar is not a top 50 player. Just because we got to get more clicks, we got to get more views. It's the offseason. Yeah, that's my theory. That's my theory.
Those 10 Lamar, in my opinion, should be on top of it. And look, let's play devil's advocate here. I can see them because Josh Allen had a big year, and they're saying, well, he's going to progress even more. I can see them saying, well, he's going to be better than Lamar. I wouldn't agree with that, but okay, I can even be with that argument, okay? Yeah. But the rest, Lamar should be on top of the rest of them. So let's read the next 10.
All right, let's go to the next 10. Sorry, we totally derailed the entire thing.
No,
so, go ahead. All right, so we stopped at 40, right? we only got through the top 10. Okay, so 39, Alvin Kamara. Good player, right? No problem. 38, A.J. Brown. Again, good player, still gives me nightmares. I hated that game where we just couldn't tackle him. Nick Chubb. Again, great player. Bryce Callahan. Now, he's a good player, but really? I mean, come on. Anyway, 36. So 35, Julio Jones. 34 is A-Rob, Allen Robinson, your boy Q's favorite receiver.
Yeah.
33 is Eric Kendricks. 32, Harrison Smith. 31, Cam Hayward, Pittsburgh Steelers. And 30 is Christian McCaffrey. So, let me just say real quick before you go, Sonny, what I find interesting is that PFF tends to agree with me in that running backs don't matter, right? Mm-hmm. But then, how can you make the argument that these running backs are going to be better than one of the best quarterbacks in the league? I don't know, man. Just this whole list is something else.
Okay, so let me say this. Christian McCaffrey, again, for me.
Injury.
You don't know how he's coming back. I love him as a player. Now, let's talk about Alvin Kamara. Alvin Kamara last year, 932 yards rushing. Didn't Lamar eclipse 1,000?
Yeah, I think so.
So
Yeah.
Lamar eclipsed 1,000 plus whatever he threw on top of that. And Alvin Kamara will not have Drew Brees. That offense might change. So who knows what is going to happen to his numbers. And you're
That's
going to
true.
tell me PFF, he's going to be on top of Lamar Jackson. Also, Julio Jones, great receiver, Hall of Famer, no doubt about it. But you're going to say that he's going to go to a new system and he's going to excel over top of a guy and Lamar Jackson, that his winning percentage, his TD to interception ratio, is the numbers that they are? No. And again, even Nick Chubb here, I will argue Nick Chubb, again, Nick Chubb had maybe 200 yards more than Lamar Jackson.
Yeah.
And Lamar over that threw a bunch of other yards.
True.
You're gonna say that Nick Chubb is a better player than Lamar Jackson? And I cannot remember the rest of the ones you said, but
Yeah.
just those three
Yeah.
just pissed me off.
How about Cam Hayward?
Cam Hayward should not be there. Cam Hayward should be 50 at best. No, miss me with that. AJ Brown, I love him as a receiver. And it's hard for me to evaluate it against a quarterback, but no. We have a quick super chat here. Dave MP says, "Yo, looking good, Jose."
Thank you, Devin. I appreciate that, man. Much appreciated.
I seen those videos of the challenges, the push-up challenges.
Yeah. Going fat to fit. That's the goal. It's still a work in progress, as you can see. I am still thick and large and in charge, but we're working on it. We're getting there. And yeah, if you check that out, I haven't uploaded in a while, but I have been uploading those. So
yeah, I would say this new. It is a process because I was at 247. I'm at 185.
yeah.
So definitely it's a process.
Oh.
So who's the next 10?
All right, so let's go to the next. And this one, so the way I was following it, I was looking on their Instagram, on PFF's Instagram, and they were releasing like by 5 like little comic books, and I'm like, okay. So I was waiting for Lamar's the entire time, and it never came. But here, 29 is Marlon Humphrey, and I obviously appreciated that one to see him in there. 28 was Ryan Ramczyk from the New Orleans Saints. 27 is Nick Bosa, San Francisco 49ers.
Yeah.
Also had a little bit of an injury problem. Mm-hmm. Dalvin Cook at 26. 25 is Myles Garrett. 24 is Trent Williams from the 49ers. 23 is Justin Simmons, Denver Broncos. 22, Russell Wilson. 21, Joey Bosa. And number 20 is Fred Warner.
Okay, so let me say, Joey Bosa is an injury history guy. I'll give the benefit to Nick Bosa. It was only a year. Joey Bosa, I feel like every time I look over there in the Chargers, he's missing the game. First. Second, I love my guy, Marlon Humphrey. I own Marlon Humphrey's jersey.
Yeah.
Marlon Humphrey misses a game. Ravens are still okay.
Yeah.
Lamar misses a game. I think we all gonna say we're gonna lose probably that game, right?
Right.
So Lamar Jackson, in importance, because of the player he is, more important than Marlon. The rest of them, again, it's hard. I understand. It's hard to measure the position. Like Myles Garrett is essentially Cleveland's defense.
Yep.
So I can see the argument for Myles Garrett. Russell Wilson, some people like him over Lamar Jackson. I will take Lamar over Russell Wilson. But again, that is part of the top 5 quarterback argument.
Right.
I'm trying to be as objective as I can and give the benefit of the doubt. So here, there's some that I can see. There are other ones that you were reading that I can't remember right now that I was like, no.
Yeah.
Bosa, right?
Both Bosas, yeah.
Both Bosas right now. I would have put it over Lamar Jackson. Simmons, best safety in the league right now. The safety position is not as important as a quarterback, but again, we're talking just player. So for me, it's hard to take him down. So I guess I don't like. If I was ranking, I wouldn't put Simmons over Lamar, but let's just give them the benefit of the doubt in that one. But yeah, man, I think we had talk about at least 10 players that should not be over Lamar, maybe more. So
Definitely. I think you make a good point when you said that if you take a player off of the team, injury, whatever, for any reason, Lamar, I mean, how much more important is he than at least, like you said, 40 players on this list? Like you said, you take off the Bosa brothers, I mean, they might struggle a little bit on the defensive side getting pass rush, but it's not a huge loss, right? They can make it up. Like you said with Justin Simmons, the Broncos secondary is phenomenal, right? It might be better than ours. If not, it's definitely, the second best after the Ravens. All these other guys, like maybe Myles Garrett, like you said, Dalvin Cook, if he's gone, they're fine, right? I just don't understand the logic here. But again, PFF has no logic, as we've established before. So, you ready for the next 10?
Let's do it.
All right. 19 is Chris Jones. Who? Chris Jones.
Who?
Number 18 is Tyreek Hill, the freak, the cheetah. Number 17 is Nuke, DeAndre Hopkins. 16, Jalen Ramsey. 15 is David Bakhtiari. Number 14 is Jair Alexander. And you really have him 15 spots above Marlon Humphrey?
Oh, yeah, they're high in Alexander.
I know they love Alexander. He's a good player, but I mean, come on. Maybe that's just our Ravens bias. But
maybe.
Anyway, Zach Martin at number 13. Is he really still this top tier? I mean, I know he's a good player, but I don't think he's as...
I wouldn't put it that high. I'm okay, top 50. I wouldn't put it that high.
I don't think he's that top tier elite shutdown guard as he used to be. But I mean, maybe I'm wrong. I haven't watched a lot of Cowboys football, to be honest. So, Derrick Henry, number 12. Number 11 is T.J. Watt from the Squealers. And number 10 is Aaron Rodgers.
Again, I'm going to sound here like a broken record, but I'm okay with some of these players being on top of Lamar, as I explained before. But this might be controversial here for all you Titans fans. Derrick Henry. There's an argument that he's the best player in the Titans, right? There's no argument that Lamar is the best player in the Ravens.
Right.
Saying all that, Derrick Henry. Well, let me before I talk off the cuff.
Okay.
Let me get his stats.
Let him know, Sonny. Let him know.
So Derrick Henry. Oh man, what you do this to me? Oh, whatever. He got 2,000 yards. Amazing, right? There's no argument that he was the top rusher last year. I think Lamar was around the top 5, maybe top 10 rusher. And on top of that, what he did, well, like for me, there's no justification of any running backs on top of Lamar.
I agree.
None. I'd love to hate Derrick Henry. This is no indictment. He definitely should be in the top 50. I like the position roughly that he is, top 15. But that just tells you Lamar should have been there too. I think like if Lamar would have been top 20, there's an argument that he could have been higher. But I can kind of see, because it's not a quarterback list, they just have to feed other potential positions. But again, goes back to, we had talk at least in the top 40, right? We are all the way to 10 now.
Yeah, yep, top 10.
In the top 40, we had talk at least 20, at least. And we are giving benefit to the doubt to a bunch of players.
Yeah.
That Lamar should have been on top of them, no question asked.
I'm telling you, PFF just forgot about Lamar, and then they just said, "Yeah, we'll make a whole argument to keep him out." I'm telling you, there has to be. It makes no sense.
I agree. I thought the same thing. I was like, somebody just forgot about Lamar, and they were like, "Oh shit, we forgot about Lamar."
Yeah.
Oh well, this will give us
just
more
keep him out. Yeah. Yeah, it'll be more juicy. More people want to read it. Yeah.
And it worked. We're here talking about
it. Sure did. Okay, so the top 10, ladies and gentlemen, these are the elite of the elite, according to PFF, or at least who will be the elite of the elite this coming season, according to this article. Number 10, Aaron Rodgers, like we said. Number 9, George Kittle. And number 9, wow. Number 8, Bobby Wagner. B-Wags. Again, same thing like Zach Martin. Is he really still at that level? I wouldn't say so.
No. No. Hell no. Go ahead.
Number 7, Tom Brady. Number 6, Khalil Mack. And then we can take a break here and do the top 5 if you want.
I have big problems with Kittle being in the top 10. I love Kittle. Kittle maybe 20, top 20.
Sure.
And Wagner should be in the 50, leaving happy that he's there in the list at all.
Wow.
Wagner is good. Wagner is not elite at this point. The guy from the Bucks, in my opinion, has been playing better than him. So I'm assuming that he's there in the top 5. I don't know who's in the list. All I knew was Lamar wasn't.
Yeah.
But no, Wagner, man, you just blew my mind with Wagner in the top 10. Like, literally, what is this dude doing here? Like,
he took Lamar's spot, actually. He took number 8.
When we played Seattle 2 years ago, I was not afraid of no Bobby Wagner, right? And a great linebacker should, in theory, not break, but slow down the Raven attack. I was no scared, no Bobby Wagner. Look, T.J. Watt, respect, dude is amazing. I had no problem with T.J. Watt being there. I hate that he's a Steeler. I remember when I wanted the Ravens to draft T.J. Watt.
Right.
And we drafted another guy named Marlon Humphrey, but that worked out for us.
That ended up working out, yeah.
But still, I can kind of see, but Bobby Wagner? Really?
That's the biggest problem you have. Okay, fair enough. So top 5, here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, your top 5 according to PFF. And again, 50 players better than Lamar Jackson. I actually am curious where they actually have him ranked in theory. They probably have him like out of the top 100, just knowing how PFF works. All right. Number 5, Devontae Adams, wide receiver, Green Bay Packers. Number 4, Quentin Nelson, offensive guard, Indianapolis Colts. Number 3, Travis Kelce, Kansas City Chiefs, tight end, as we know. Number 2, Mahomes boy, Patrick Mahomes. And at number 1, you have Aaron Donald. So, not a surprise there, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, Adams, people are big on Adams.
Mm-hmm.
Let me say this. I'm okay if they want to put those top 5. To be honest, I'm okay. I cannot get over with Kittle and Bobby Wagner.
yeah, in the top 10.
Especially Bobby Wagner. Like I said, Kittle should be a top maybe 20.
Mm-hmm.
Bobby Wagner? I'm shocked, man.
B-Wags, Holmes.
Bobby, like, for real? Like,
proof is in the pudding, and of course they make an argument. Yeah.
Like White. Oh my God. Anyway, I need to let this go because I'm gonna be all show with this.
So there you go.
Lamar, in my opinion, based on this list, there's an argument that Lamar should have been in the top 20. I can see them leaving out of the top 10, and as Ravens fans, we would have been hurt. But again, because it's trying to put a composition of all of these players. I think how this list should have been construct, and at that point, Lamar, in my opinion, because the top 10, if not a top 5, was if I take this player out and throw it away, how bad with your team becomes.
Yeah.
And I'm assuming the reason why they don't do it that way because it will lean heavily on QBs.
Mm-hmm.
But the Ravens without Lamar, especially before this year that we didn't have the weapons we have, we would have been trash without Lamar. The defense can only do so much. So I disagree with this list. It's so bad. It was disgusting, man. I think again, there's an argument, and just to be fair, Lamar as a top 20.
So, okay, I want to read you guys basically the description of this article, like what this is, all right? So it says here specifically, the ranking below is a projection of what we think will happen and not necessarily a reaction to a spectacular or underwhelming 2020 season. As that's what they say. Additionally, positional value is not considered here. So safeties, guards, and even running backs have just as good a chance to rank highly as quarterbacks, who would dominate the list if positional value was heavily factored. So that's what they say. That's what this list is supposed to be.
Mm-hmm. And I call BS on that because Lamar didn't have... Again, Lamar, rookie year, he barely threw, but the next 2 years, the last two, he's been pretty much consistent. Yeah, maybe not as much as in yardage, but basically consistent, right? And last year, Lamar had David, and David had affected a lot of players, so... Nah, man. This is stupid. Even under their own rationale, is stupid.
It is. And I think the main thing that gets me is the fact that these are the 50 best players. Players! So you're telling me Lamar Jackson is not a top 50 player in the NFL right now? Like, nobody thinks that. Literally only PFF puts this out, again, to get us to talk for like 45 minutes about it, to get us all riled up, get us all angry, get everybody on Twitter pissed off. That's all this is for. Because nobody in their right mind would sit there and tell you Lamar Jackson is not a top 50 player right now. I know if you say like, oh, he's not a top 10 quarterback as a thrower, if that was what the list was, then you could definitely hear the argument. But to say he's not a top 50 player, you're telling me he's not a at least top 10 player in the NFL. He has to be a top 10 player at least, just considering everything he brings to the table. Yeah. How many times did I say, Sonny, even when he first started in preseason, I used to say there's times that he is the best player on the field.
Yeah.
Out of anybody. And we see that a lot more nowadays, right?
Well, let's be honest here. If we just rank QBs, let's forget about the rest of the positions. Let's just rank QBs.
Mm-hmm.
There will be people that had Aaron Rodgers on top of Lamar. There will be some people that will have Russell Wilson, Brady, and Mahomes on top of Lamar.
Lamar, yeah.
And
LeBron, yeah.
Yeah, and there might be some people that have your boy Josh Allen on top of Lamar.
Right.
Okay. Unless they're a Cowboy fan, there will be no one that will have Mr. Dakota Prescott on top of Lamar Jackson. So you're telling me if we make just a QB list, nobody will put Lamar Jackson under Dak Prescott, but you're gonna say that Lamar Jackson's a worse player? Makes no sense, PFF. You either are biased towards the Cowboys because I don't think there's no more Cowboy there in that list. So you obviously you just want to put a Cowboy there, and you figure, let me put Dak Prescott.
Well, there's Zach Martin, of course.
Oh, that's Zach Martin. Yeah. But that makes no sense. Not Zach Martin. Zach Martin, in my opinion, is a little bit overranked. But the whole Dak Prescott over Lamar, just on that point. And again,
that's crazy.
I think if you put Lamar at 50, that would have been super disrespectful. But not to the level that you didn't even have.
That don't even have him in the list. Yeah.
It's just stupid.
It is. It's a joke. It's ridiculous.
Okay. Guys, I will say this. In the comment section or in the live chat, tell me, and this is very hard, but just tell me where will you put Lamar Jackson? Just give me a number. I'll be curious to see. Okay. Joe, I don't know how much you've been following and guys, we're going to be taking calls very, very soon. How much you've been following the rankings on the AFC North talk? We ranked the whole offense.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I've been watching.
Okay, so Ravens, look, again, for the quarterback position, the Ravens were unanimous first across the board. Baker got second place.
Just think about that, though. Think about
Yeah,
that.
and
Even AFC North teams who are like the biggest haters of the Ravens still think that he's the best quarterback in the division, right? But
Yep.
PFF, oh no, he's not. He sucks. Anyway,
By the way, here's 25, worst 30 to 20, 15, 36, 2, 11 or 12, top 15. You see, I'm okay with either of this. You can have arguments for all this, but if the worst was 30s, I would have been fine with that. Okay, so in the wide receiver, the Ravens got a unanimous again fourth. That includes your boy here, Sonny. I put
Yep.
them in fourth. And obviously, you follow me here. You probably follow me in the AFC North talk. My reasoning is rookies, I always take them to the grain of salt. They haven't proven me anything. I do love Rashad Bateman. Y'all know that was my favorite receiver for this year, and I was super excited when we drafted him. Okay?
yeah.
Running backs. This show for the running backs was super controversial
That was fun. Yeah.
because my guy Ace Boogie put the Ravens fourth.
At fourth. Yeah,
Yeah.
ridiculous.
Yes, and he was in his feeling because of Joe Mixon. And more than that, I put the Steelers at fourth because of the same argument that I had. And my guy Harris, he looks great, but he has done shit.
Yep.
And he doesn't have a great O line, so
Mhm,
my expectation he ain't gonna have a great year. I put the Browns first because we weren't counting Lamar Jackson, right? We were not counting Lamar Jackson, so the dynamic duo in the Browns, I think it is better and more proven.
I agree.
Than J.K. Dobbins and Gus Edwards.
So-
I love my guys.
So the whole thing there, actually, I like constructed a whole argument for Ace because he said, so you're gonna he said something about the tight end position, right? That you're gonna say Mark Andrews is better than the whole tight end rooms of the Browns, but you can't say the same thing for Joe Mixon and the Ravens running back. So here's my argument for that. I don't know if Ace is watching, but shout out to Ace, New Stripe City. So, and again, not a lot of people agree with me on this, but I don't believe that the running back position, I won't say it doesn't matter because people get in their feelings when I say that, but it's definitely not an important positional value when comparing to tight ends, right? You would much rather have a top-end tight end, number one, like Mark Andrews, over a deep tight end room because I get the whole injury argument, that's fine. But if you have a Joe Mixon, who's a good running back, you would rather have a deep running back room, right? The running back position gets injured. There's more chance of injuries by all the accounts of how they get hit. And you can have a change of pace back. So you would much rather want to have a deeper running back room rather than a deeper tight end room necessarily. So that's my argument for that. Yes, I would absolutely take the Ravens running backs over Joe Mixon any day of the week. No questions asked.
My argument with him was a couple.
Yeah.
And with this, I'll start with this. What grade, like if you had to grade Joe Mixon, what grade would you give him?
Honestly, like Bengals fans think he's like this, like he's Derrick Henry, right? No, but he's not. Like, to me, he's a solid B. Maybe on a good day, B+ running back.
I agree.
Right?
Especially coming off an injury, which is another thing that I brought up.
Yeah.
What would you give J.K. Dobbins and Gus Edwards?
Honestly, like maybe like even B-, like on a good day.
Yeah,
right?
I will say this, to be fair.
Maybe even a B.
I would say B- to J.K. Only did it for a year. And as I told him, I said, like, because he was like, your guy didn't have 1,000 yards. And I said, yeah, the first 5 games he barely played because he wasn't the primary ball carrier as a rookie. And I would say Gus Edwards for me is also a B- C+. Those two, just on the law, on just average, you take those two, essentially they are almost as good as your top, right? So those two are very, very close. The margin is slightly your guy, but I have two. They're just slightly under your guy. And if you get me your next one, then my two guys are just above because your next guy's an F, right? and just a low average. Now, if I go to tight end, Mark Andrews an A,
Mm-hmm.
right? Austin Hooper had his best years in Atlanta. We'll see if he can play the same way over there in the Browns. I think Austin Hooper, how he played last year, is a C plus. The other two that they like is a guy that the Cleveland Browns on Njoku had looked to trade,
Right.
and Brian. It has promises, but at the end of the day, he played 16 or 15 games and accumulated about 300 something yards.
Mm-hmm.
So that for me is what, a C,
Yeah.
right? C minus.
Sure.
The law of averages tells me that Mark Andrews by itself
Mm-hmm.
is way above this guys. It's not that it's close; it's above. And I hear the argument, and that's why I said that the argument means that they are close because these guys are decent. But if I put Nick Boyle there, Nick Boyle is what Brian wants to be because Brian is a good blocker and Nick Boyle is an excellent blocker. And again, Njoku they're looking to trade. So that's why I went
And
on
and
top.
that's what I think. I think that they completely underrated Nick Boyle because they're just like they just threw his name out, right? Like, oh, he's just a guy. He's an essential part of this Ravens offense. I know he's not flashy. He's not out there getting receptions a lot, but my God, without him, I mean, you saw how the offense struggled without the blocking that he brings to the table. So
agree.
you could even argue that as a number 2 tight end, as a blocking tight end, Nick Boyle brings a lot of value. And on top of that, you have Mark Andrews, who you would probably say is a top 5, maybe top 10 tight end, depending on your argument. Now, the Browns, Austin Hooper, solid tight end, like you said. And Njoku, solid, I guess, on occasion. And Harrison Bryant, right? I don't know, man. If I had to choose between those two, I would definitely choose the Ravens tight end room. And again, maybe I have my purple glasses on as I tend to do, but there's just no question for me. You have two really good tight ends for what they do, what they bring to the table, over 3 okay to solid tight ends. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, so the only one was Quincy was the only one that didn't rank the Ravens one. He ranked the Browns. And then on O line, it was a very boring show. We agree on everything. Browns first, Ravens second, Steelers fourth, and Bengals.
Right. Yep.
Our average, and we didn't have it weighted by importance of quarterback or none of that. Had the Browns as the best offense in the AFC North, and the Ravens second, and there's a gap between the two. Bengals third and fourth, the Steelers. And now I did see an article, and I don't know if you saw this in NFL.com, just saying who has the most complete roster. And number one was the Browns.
The Browns,
Number two
sure.
was the Bucks.
Mm-hmm.
And I agree, the Browns have a more complete roster, but we've seen this for the past couple of years. And the Ravens, they still beat them.
Yeah. Again, it's the Browns is the Browns, right? As they say. But to me, like I said the same thing for the Browns last season, I believe. It all depends on Baker, right? That's how I see it. And Baker had a good year last year. He actually showed, like, I don't know if necessarily he was number 1 overall pick worthy necessarily, but he definitely played up to the level that we were expecting him to play at least. So, no, yeah, this Browns roster is phenomenal. But again, that's why this is a cliche, but football is not played on paper. It is played on the field. And the Ravens, for some reason, we just tend to do well against the Browns. I know it's like kind of turning into a little bit of a rivalry, maybe more so than the Steelers, some might say. I personally am still going to love that Steelers-Ravens rivalry always, but regardless, I'm going off on a tangent. But yeah, I mean, the Browns look good. Everybody's favoring them to win the AFC North, and that's fine, man. We just got to go out there and show them why we are still on top.
I agree. Okay, my guys, let's go with the calls here. Really quick. Let me know if you can hear through ring. Can you hear it?
Yeah, I can hear it.
Beautiful. I'm always scared this thing will break. Hello?
Hello.
Hi, man. This is Trump City, right?
Yep, that's me.
How you
One and
doing,
only.
man? Here
What's
with
going
Joe.
on, bruh?
Yes, I can hear both of you loud and clear.
Awesome. Cool. Well, what's your question or comment?
Well, I want to start with this whole, Pro Football Focus top 50 players ranking. I look at that list as well. I'm like, yeah, this is the problem. Like Lamar should at least be maybe top 15 or 20. Like, here's the thing. Can you list me? Okay, let's take out players. Can you list me the quarterbacks that are on this list?
So Dak, Rogers,
Yeah, it was Dak, Brady, Rodgers, Russell Wilson was
Allen.
ahead of those guys. Mahomes and Josh Allen, our favorite. Yeah.
My favorite.
Okay. Now, when it comes to Rodgers, Mahomes, maybe Wilson and Brady, I'll be okay with that. But Prescott and Josh Allen, that's a big no-go. I'm sorry, no-go. Like, they're basing it off of they're basing it off of what they're going to do this year, right?
Yep.
It kind of seems like they're basing it on the weapons around them. Like, don't get me wrong. Dak has weapons, but when he had those weapons last season, what did that correlate to? Only like 2-3 wins at best?
Yeah.
The Cowboys haven't made the playoffs in the past couple of years, and it's not that that's another thing, right? It's not that the Cowboys are this strong division. Not even on defense. It's not like the Redskins became a real defense last year, right? Like that front was scary. Before that, the front was good. Last year became scary. But to think about the NFC East as this like big division that you gotta be scared because it's not the NFC West, it's not the AFC North. So yeah, I expect those quarterbacks, if they're halfway decent, to put good numbers. So yeah, I mean, for me again, I'm baffled that Dak Prescott is there.
And you make a good point about how they have their weapons around them, because I think definitely you would probably say you would take Dak's weapons, you would take Josh Allen's weapons, or at least his receivers, probably over the Ravens receiving core right now. I think you can make that argument. But the argument is not the weapons around the player, right? The argument is who are the top 50 players in the NFL going into this season. So
I do agree. Look, I have respect for Josh Allen, but I want to see, can he produce the same numbers like he did last year? Because I'm still gonna be biased. Like, that's all on Stephon Diggs. Like, if you take Stephon Diggs out, I think him and Lamar put up similar numbers. But that's just me. But I do believe Lamar is gonna look at this as like he's gonna prove Pro Football Focus wrong. Watch.
Oh, I'm sure that he's going to prove them wrong because this is stupid how the ranking is right now.
He has to. He has a lot of people on his list. That's for sure. PFF is just they're getting a little special category for themselves on his notepad, I think.
Yeah, bookmark that those.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I kind of feel like Mark Andrews should be on this list.
That's right.
True.
We're going to talk about Mark Andrews. Definitely. Mark Andrews should be in this list, probably near the 50s. I get it. Definitely, I had no problem with Kittle and Kelsey over Mark. No problem. Mark Andrews should be living in that 50-ish player rank. That's a good catch. I think we are so mad about Lamar that we forgot. We're like, yeah, Lamar.
And is Marcus Peters on that list? Because I think he should be.
No.
Nope. I think the only players we have are Stanley and Humphrey on there. And
I'm okay. I will say this. I'm okay with Mark Andrews. Oh, sorry. Marcus Peters not being in the top 50. Because remember, it's the top 50 of the whole league. It's hard to have too many positions,
It is.
too many players the same position. And I think Jair Alexander has proven that he's better right now. Marlon Humphrey has been better, and the guy that is in the Rams, Ramsey, right? And that's 3 corners. They have Bradbury too. Bradbury for me is a stretch.
They also have Bryce Callahan.
Yeah, Bryce Callahan, a slot corner over Peters, who plays
Yeah.
outside. No,
Yeah,
thank you.
Yeah. I mean, there's an argument, but I'm not as outraged for the Peters not being in the 50s.
And
Fair enough.
Willie makes a good point here in the chat. He says Tucker should be at the top of the list. You're right.
Yeah.
He should be number 1. Give Tucker some love, baby.
Give the kicker some love.
Exactly.
The top of the kickers.
Yep.
Go ahead, man. Sorry.
You're good. Man. Now, there's something else I want to talk about. This has something to do with the AFC North and what Quincy talked about the tight end position.
Okay.
And this is what bothers me. He talks about the Browns have a better tight ends position than the Ravens because they have 3 guys.
Mm-hmm.
But here's my thing. Wasn't David Njoku drafted in the first round to be the guy? Because you wouldn't pay Cooper that money if you didn't draft Njoku in the first round to be your guy. Can someone explain that?
Yeah, so the problem with Njoku, which is what I said, and Quincy, I kind of agree. He said Njoku, he is what he is at this point, which is a 3rd string tight end for the Browns. Has never been able to do to be more than a 3rd string tight end, and that's why they pay Hooper. So yeah, Njoku is a guy that had a lot of raw talent that on paper look amazing. Hasn't been able to put everything together. And that was my problem with Q. Essentially, you have a non-dependable guy in Njoku and a guy on Brian that has not produced much. You have a lot of potential. Well, I have a guy on Boyle that has a track record of producing while you want Brian to be. So, and then if you go with the top 2 between Hooper and Mandrews, then there's a big gap there.
Fair enough. Now, another thing is the running back position. I actually think, I do have to agree the Browns do deserve first place. In second place, I do think the Ravens, but it's up there. When it comes to, I have to agree with Pittsburgh being last. They drive a running man in the first round, and they just released a pro pod, and it's what's the point of dropping a running man in the first round if he's not gonna have no holes? They ain't gonna be open up for him. He's screwed.
We'll see. I will say this: my guy, Tony, he has a lot of faith in Canada.
Look. Matt Canada is gonna fix everything for the Steelers. Don't you know? Don't you know?
Canada's the godsend to the Steelers.
He's gonna fix the fact that Large Benjamin doesn't want to turn his back to the defense. He doesn't want to do play action, and he's just unwilling to do anything creative in an offense. That's what Matt Canada is gonna fix.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think he can fix that. There's no fixing that. That ain't none.
Anything else, man?
Let me think. I really got nothing.
Okay. Well, thank you for calling. As always, appreciate it, man. We'll talk to you later.
No problem.
Good talking to you, man.
We have 2 more calls here, so let's go through them quick. We're coming into the hour.
Let's do it.
Yo, man, how you doing?
Oh, just hung up. Just like that.
We lost
Didn't
him.
want to talk.
Nah, this is my guy, Zana. Something happened. He probably...
I'm sorry, but the person you called...
We don't want to hear some numbers.
Yep. Good
Let
thing
me
you
call
cut that
you
off.
one more time, Azana, and if not, I have to jump to the next one. Because I see him in the chat.
I'm sorry, but the person...
Uh-oh. Let me go with the next one here. The next one here is... You get a kicker with this guy.
Okay.
Garnett, shout out to you.
Mr. West.
Hey, how you guys doing?
Good, and you?
I'm good. I can't complain, man. You know, just another day in the lovely weather we having in North Carolina.
Oh man, F you, man. England sucks in weather.
I bet.
And this is what I have to wear in the summer. I'm not joking. This is like
It's always cold.
there's days that is like maybe approaches 80, but then you're in the 60s and windy and rainy. Yeah,
I would take that over 115-degree weather. Try that. Let me know how that feels.
That's Cal. That's Cal.
Yeah, it's Cali. Yeah.
Yeah, man. Yeah, but you know, glad that we got that out the way. But this PFF thing that I did not pay no attention to, like hopefully a lot of people haven't, which is pretty crazy. Like the moment I saw the whole Lamar denying the top 50, I was like, yep. I just smiled, laughed, and then I just kept on scrolling up.
That's probably what we should have all done, Garnet. But unfortunately, we don't. You know, we need something to talk about, basically.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Any publicity is good publicity, right?
Yep.
Yes, sir.
So what do you think?
But yeah, man. Yeah. I don't even. It's the whole Dak thing. That's like a weird, touchy subject because the fact that it's one of those things. If they're trying to project for the foreshadow the future, or whatever, like who's going to be this and that. Okay, I understand to a certain degree, but in all honesty, it's like they're dumb. And the thing about it, I understand the angle. I think I heard Sam Munson talk about it, or somebody that was trying to explain it more in depth. Is the fact that it's really they're trying to basically say it's all about the offense evolving, which I do agree to a point. Like, okay, yeah, the offense evolve, you know, is going to amplify Lamar in the top 3 or maybe number 1, but depending on if he grows his game, you know, be able to manipulate coverage, you know, all those things. So outside the numbers, you know, better. Boom. It's no easy day. He went from not being in the top 50 to being number 1 or number 2. Beautiful day, right? Mm-hmm. But also, if we don't, you know, change our game, we keep on doing the same philosophy where we try to run. Oh, we got to pass. Now we got to do it. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, we know, depending how far we get, we know the person who got us there. So in both ways, that's a top 50 caliber, you know, player. Because think about it, we're literally relying on one person to get us somewhere. Like at the end of the day, in all honesty.
I agree, and my point is this too, because again, ranking 50 players of all position type, right? Because it's easier when you rank the same type of position. So ranking 50 players of all position type is hard. So if you come in and I give me your top 5 QB or top 6, since there were 6 QB, you will not put Dak Prescott there. I guarantee you non-Cowboy fans will not put Dak Prescott there. So just talking about QBs, right? So it's just crazy. And I understand the projection part, but what gives you like I said earlier, I kind of get the whole Josh Allen part, because Josh Allen had a great year, right? And you can say, well, and that was a year they didn't have preseason, off-season, so the hope is this year he takes another jump.
Right.
So I can kind of get the top 5 quarterback being on top of Lamar. But what gives you that person's coming from an injury? You don't know if he's going to be better. It might take him a quarter of the season just to go back to what he was, to feel comfortable. Right? Because he might look good in practice. He knows in practice nobody's about to hit him. Right? And that O-line's not like that O-line's top-notch again. So, again, it's just the whole Dak Prescott over Lamar, because at that point we can compare QB against QB. It's just, for me, it's baffling.
Yeah, and also with the, like, literally, I think if I heard correctly, the Levante David at 49.
Yeah. Yep.
That's when I was like, all right, okay, yeah, I'm already turned off by this whole conversation already, because the fact that, you know, just out of respect, like he's one of the top, to me, still in this league, a top 3 or top 5 linebacker in the game. Like literally, you can say, okay, Bobby Wagner, and then after that, it's literally a toss up for who's out for him. And Levante Davis falls apart. Mommy falls right in that category. He literally shut down Travis Kelce in the Super Bowl, like hands down, shut him down. So I don't know, man. It's crazy how you want to like I said, this list. I felt like they just like, hey, for the 49 spot, somebody put your names in a hat, shake that motherfucker up, and let's whoever's off, that's who's 49 is, or that's what it seems like. To be honest with you, it's there's some things you just can't explain. Like, and that just blows my mind. But the whole Lamar thing, like I said this earlier to somebody, like, look, man, like all this stuff that's happening right now, it's like the media is gonna eat it up and they're gonna show their true colors as a snake. They're gonna be, oh man, the Raiders ain't shit, blah 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 blah. Sorry for using my aggressive language.
We got demonetized a while ago. Don't worry about it. You can keep going.
All right, good. But it's like the fact that, like, you know, you're gonna hear this. The moment you see a knuckleball, I hate making fun of my own quarterback, but the moment you see you see another knuckleball of a pass, oh, look at that! I told you, bad mechanics, bad footwork, blah 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 blah, and then they're gonna fast forward 3 months later into a game where he's throwing up 5 touchdowns, Jackson 5, like he usually did, like when, you know, in the second year. Oh my God, he's the best quarterback. I've been trying to tell. Wait, was he the same motherfucker 3 months ago?
Oh yeah,
they was talking about his knuckleball.
They talk about two sides.
Like, exactly, man. It's one of those things where, like I said, they do just like how all three of us do. Yeah, we talk about it, but at the end of the day, it's like we know what's up. That's all I can say. We know what's up.
Yeah,
they love him when he does things like he did against the Browns in prime time, right? When he took his toilet break, the poop game, right? Poop gate. He came in, threw that 4th and 5 touchdown. Oh, they loved him all week. They're like, Lamar. But then he comes in, he has a bad game, or he throws one, you know, the ball starts quacking just a little bit, and he's the worst quarterback in the league. It's crazy.
Yeah. Right. I'll say this. Lamar Jackson's ball does quack, as Nubo just stated. And I'm not going to hear to debate that he's going to, no, every game he will have quackers. But, which is very important, there's quarterbacks throughout history that had that type of, you know, let's call it a problem. And they still were successful. Yeah. And they still were successful. Plus, again, none of those quarterbacks had the legs and the dynamic ability of Lamar Jackson, right? So, yeah, Lamar Jackson, he throws a tight spiral. It's just the problem with him is he doesn't throw that consistently. He would have passes tight spiral, and then another one will be a floater. Still, yeah, because I remember that the whole Sammy Watkins in practice.
Oh my God,
big issue. Lamar threw a floater there. Yeah, you can miss me with that.
Man, and the thing about it, like literally the following week, Patrick Mahomes literally threw the same kind of. He threw a duck, literally a duck that dated to the receiver that was going, and literally you didn't hear not one piece. So that's one of the things where, we already know the number one man on the hit list is Lamar Jackson when it comes to media and that part. But at the same time, though, it's one of those things where I said this for somebody, I think a while back, like, I'll say it like this again. The process of elimination is getting real tight in Baltimore. I don't know if you guys talked about this, guys, in and out in my second job real quick, but the process of elimination is running out of people to eliminate when it comes to this offense or trying to figure out this offense. Like, the fact that we got rid of, well, I'm saying we basically got rid of David Culley. People want to talk crap about him, but I remember on the podcast, like, literally, he said, hey, once they figured, like, you know, it's some, you know, they're holding them back. I remember he was talking to Steve White on his podcast. It's like, yeah, they're holding us back. So that's one person. Dez, literally with the same thing the whole time. Hey, they're holding them back. That's this. So I don't find it crazy. I wasn't shocked when we signed Keith, Williams and T. Martin. Mm-hmm. Like, it's one of those things where if you know about the Ravens history, I'm gonna be short and sweet. I gotta go back. I want to hear y'all part. I want to hear y'all's opinion on this. But anytime, if you think about from the first time we lost the playoff game, we lost. We lost. We had to beef up. The front. No. What's the first time we lost the playoff game with Lamar? What ended up happening? I'm trying to think.
Got rid of Marty. We still had Marty, right?
Yep. Right. Yeah, we got rid of Marty, and then we brought in Greg Roman. boom, everything was coasting, 14-2, go to the playoffs, and then we got destroyed by Derrick Henry, right? What did we do the following year?
Nothing.
Well, we beef up that D-line. It was basically all we did during the year.
Yeah. We didn't forget about the almost 200 yards that he ran on us, and we got Calais Campbell, we got Derek Wolfe, drafted Patrick Queen.
Boom. So like that's what I'm saying with the process of elimination, and then the following, guess what we're doing? Drafted a first round receiver, got two like highly exploited, highly knowledgeable receiving coach, and went from there, guys. Like, but yeah, hey, I gotta go. Thank you for listening, but I definitely want to hear y'all points on this. I love y'all. Hopefully I'll see y'all soon.
Take care, bro.
Good talking to you, Garnet.
Okay, Noob, you want to react to what he was saying?
Yeah, so I mean, it's a theory I've also had. I think maybe this was where he was going with it. That maybe the problem starts, with a little somebody named John Harbaugh, right? And I've made this argument before, but listen, I love John Harbaugh, but the fact of the matter is the problem that we have, the ceiling, if you will, is that we don't have an offensive-minded head coach. And the reason this is a kind of a problem in today's NFL, I would say at least, is that you don't have a guy like Andy Reid who can just take over play calling at a moment's notice, right? We are stuck with Greg Roman calling plays, and that's just how it's going to be. John Harbaugh is not going to take over, right? You have guys like Matt Nagy from the Bears, same situation. They didn't like their offensive coordinator, or I think it might have been flipped, whatever it was. But what I'm saying is that John Harbaugh simply just doesn't take over and say, okay, this is what we're going to do on offense and this is how we're going to win this game. No, he doesn't do that because he's not an offensive-minded head coach, right? So, but is he the problem? I don't know, man. It's one of those things.
I think what he was saying more was we figured out what was our problem the year before and we addressed it.
Okay.
And nobody complained about Giro. If you think about that, after that 14-2 season, Giro got interviews and Ravens Nation was freaking out that he might leave.
Sure.
And the following year, we just wanted to just
get him out of here. Yeah.
Right. And what the Ravens noticed is we need to get more explosive on the passing side. So they brought two coaches that help with that, and they drafted two guys that can help in that, plus Sammy Watkins. So they are addressing their biggest need. I think their huge hole that they have is on edge. We'll see how bad will that bite them during the year. But also think about this. I think John Harbaugh had the problem with him is he is loyal to a fault sometimes. But think about with Marty. With Marty, he noticed the problem. And then he said, Greg Roman, I want you to start doing the play calls on the running side and Marty on the passing.
Right.
And they almost like a split. And then he said, Marty, you're gone here. Giro, this is your job.
Mm-hmm.
So the question is, will he be doing that with one of these two guys that came, or will another coordinator? My thing is, John Harbaugh has been loyal to a fault, but he has also, when changes need to be made, he has made it. Think about the Super Bowl year. The guy that we fired, I'm blanking the guy. He was an a-hole. I didn't like him. And then we brought Caldwell, right? And he finished being the OC.
Oh, yeah. I'm forgetting the name, but I know who you're talking about.
But before that, right? He fired the guy. So I think. Look, I love the fact that we don't have a coordinator. Mm-hmm. I do, because I think the problem that I have with coordinator Ken Cameron. Thank you, lunch break time.
That's what it was. Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Go check them out. My guys over there. I think the fact that we don't have a coordinator, in my opinion, works into our advantage. If you have an up-and-coming, let's say one of these two guys, right? I don't want to single out either one, but one of them wants to be a coordinator. The Ravens are a perfect spot. You know why? Because the Ravens will promote you within. And second, if you become the coordinator, they're gonna give you the rails for you to be the coordinator, which will get you to the next job. And we went through a tangent here, but my point is, for example, I still am baffled that the OC for the Chiefs hasn't been able to get a job.
Be enemy, yeah.
The enemy. But one of the arguments that I hear is like, yeah, but how much does he really do when Andy Reid is calling the plays, designing the playbook, and blah, 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 right? I argue that, well, Peters got that job from Philadelphia, so why would Bieniemy won't get the job? But that's a different story. But in the Ravens, you have the opportunity to be your own OC. So,
right.
That being said, Ravens essentially address on offense. Where were the biggest problem? Where do we want Lamar to grow? Okay, receivers, we don't have enough receiver. Let's draft these two plus Sammy Watkins. In theory, right now, you're looking back, you're like, holy crap, who am I cutting? I'm cutting one of these dudes. Who am I cutting? Is it going to be Boykins? Is it going to be Prochet, right? One of these guys might not make the team. So you're looking back at that. So that means your talent obviously went up. Plus, then you have the coaching stuff that went up, right? So on talent. And yes, this also puts pressure on one Giro. Giro knows I have two guys that are very hungry, ready to come up and do their thing. So I think the Ravens did well addressing that. The only thing that pissed me off about this offseason is our edge class.
Yeah, well, the edge, I've said it, ever since DaCosta took over, we have no interest. We don't care about the edge rusher position at all. All we care about is secondary, and that's just how it's going to be. I don't think we're going to have a dominant pass rusher for a long time. Now, maybe, Pressure Daddy finally takes a step up. That would be great. And I think the reason that they did draft your guy, 00, Odafe Owe, is because of the speed.
Yeah.
They're going to count on the secondary to just hold off, and I know, we've talked about this before, and they're just going to hope that Owe is able to get there. So I think that's what the direction they're taking on edge. But my concern with this whole Greg Roman thing, let me just say this to add to the tail end here. It does kind of feel like he could be on his way out depending on how he performs, but I'm afraid if that's the case, what if we do it too late, right? What if we go to another playoff game and again we put up 3 points and it's Greg Roman's fault most likely, right?
Yeah.
Then you fire him. But it's like, bruh, you should have made the decision already. If you're thinking about getting rid of him, why not just get rid of him already?
Yeah. But again, Harbaugh did it in the Super Bowl year, so he's capable of doing that.
Yeah, it's possible.
And even on when Giro got in, you can see how Giro started creeping, getting more and more responsibilities, and then they can Marty. So anyway, Noob, we've been here for over an hour, so tell them, Jose. I'm sorry, I keep calling you Noob. Jose,
that's okay. That's fine.
Where they can find you, man? You have like 3 channels now.
Yeah, in theory. Yeah, no, but yeah, guys, so thank you so much. I know I haven't been active. I will be coming back bigger and better than ever. Well, not big, hopefully not bigger, hopefully smaller, weight-wise. But anyway, so my channel is Jose Verduzco, as it's spelled right here, as you guys can see. I'm not sure, if you still look up Joe Nubo, you still might be able to find my channel. So look at that if you want. Twitter is at NF Podcast Live. They don't let me change it, so it's still that. And but yeah, you can pretty much find my stuff if you look up Jose Verduzco. Ravens content coming soon, fellas. But right now, I'm just I don't want to talk a lot about what's going on right now. To be honest, I may start talking about basketball. Believe it or not, I've been kind of getting into basketball a little bit. I've been watching these finals. Yeah, I've been watching the playoffs.
As long as the Clippers get eliminated, I'm good with that.
Yeah, no, me too. I like to watch the Clippers lose because I like to watch Skip and Shannon, and Skip Bayless suffers whenever the Clippers lose. So that's part of the reason. I will tell you, I'm going for the Bucks, though. I'm going for the Milwaukee Bucks just because of the comparison for Lamar and Giannis. Everybody's like, they can't get it done in the playoffs.
That's
so maybe Maybe if Giannis gets it done this year, maybe Lamar will get it done. I don't know. Just a little
I'm going with the Suns. CP3 first championship. And you have the horror channel too.
Yes, if you guys, I mean, and that's kind of like a side project. You know, I put a little bit of time into that. It's called Horror High. You can't really find it on YouTube if you search it up because it's such a small channel. But I have linked it in the past on my main channel. So if you guys are into horror movies, check that out. But yeah, I mean, mainly right now you want to focus on Jose Verduzco, name right here, and everything will come from that, man. So content coming soon.
Appreciate it. And for me, obviously, you're here. If you haven't subscribed to the channel. We do live streams at 5 every Monday. Also tomorrow, 5:45 p.m. Eastern, AFC North talk. We are moving to the defensive side. First position ranking is cornerbacks. So that should be fun. I'm ready. I'm ready for somebody to say something stupid that tomorrow.
They better say nothing. They better recognize.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah.
But I appreciate it, everybody. Hopefully, Ravens Nation shows up tomorrow in the AFC North talk. Thank you, everybody, for coming, and we'll see you next time. Peace out, my guys.